making roots where the sun shines, turning little seeds into fields of golden time.
Howdy folks, Joel here. What I'm fixing to do today is, it's been pointed out to me by a millennial no less that they don't understand when I say fixing to what I mean. If you hear me say I'm fixing to do something, that means I'm going to do it. So here I am, I'm fixing to do it. I can understand why millennials don't understand that terminology, because all the millennials out there, they ain't fixing to do nothing or anything. Ever how you want to look at that one too. Anyway, this here's some soil that I get from a dispensary downtown. They don't want to take the time and clean out all the nutrients and make it pH neutral again where they can start over. So what they do is they give away all this soil. People like me, it's thrifty. We clean it all up, and once you get down to the center, you have little old small balls of roots like that, like in this one here. It ain't hard at all to clean this stuff up. You see, I have a fire strainer here on top of my wheelbarrow. Wind's blowing a little bit here in Colorado today, which is kind of a good thing. Helps me clean this stuff up real quick. Like, you can see it disappears real quick down into my. Let the dust fly off there for a second. Down into the wheelbarrow here, everything goes. Now this is just coconut coir and perlite, which is something else I want somebody to tell me about. Y'all would post down in the comments. It's spelled coir, C-O-I-R. It's not spelled like apple core. Some people call it choir. Well, it's not spelled like a choir that sings at church. So which one is it? Basically, when they're talking about coconut coir, either one, ever how you want to pronounce it, it's just a brown husk. What's left of the coconut after they get the goodie out of it. And then this white stuff is perlite. Now this here makes up 60% of my substrate that I grow everything in. I mix worm castings and compost in with this here, and that's about it. Maybe a few guanos like bat guano and seabird guano. And once I've cleaned out most of the roots, I'm throwing them in a bucket here. Lucky for me, some of my neighbors grow rabbits, so they've been giving me their rabbit poop. That's what I have in this bucket here. You can't see it, but I put a couple of gallons of water added to it so it would all turn to a mush. I throw these roots in there with it, and then in the morning I'm gonna feed all this to my worms downstairs. It's not hard to do what I do here. Basically, the dispensary doesn't like to clean up their own soil, so after a 10-week grow, they give everything away to get it out of their sight. People like me, we clean it up. I have a pile of it back here. After it sit here for a year or so, the snow and the water leaches all the nutrients out of it. I've never had any problem with it. Time I mix my castings, my own worm castings, posts, I have great soil. I'm going to show you today how I mix up my organic soil for growing beautiful green plants, healthy plants. I start off with cocoa coir, which is just coconut husk ground up to a powder. I usually have about 40% in my substrate here. About 25% of perlite. Between these two right here, it makes everything real light, breathable. If you put too much compost and too much worm dirt in there, it gets too heavy and it compacts. Doesn't want to breathe as well. But this is what I put in there. Coconut coir, perlite, compost, homemade compost from my backyard, and worm castings from my worms here in my basement. And also when I'm planting, always use my own worm tea that I brew for about 48 hours or so. Now you see how brown this right here is. That's a nice color for your tea. Has plenty of microbes living in it. I use this at least once a week. Also, I use a little bat guano and seabird guano. Bat guano is just an all-around good fertilizer for all three NPK. This one here, the seabird, is great for phosphorus, which is good for fruiting and flowering. One other thing I use is Alaska fish fertilizer. I think this is one of the best organic fertilizers out there. But now you have to be careful if you're using it inside, because it does smell a little fishy, but it works well. Let you see my little setup here where I'm going to be growing my tomato plants. I have a 2000 watt LED hanging above these. All right, talking about the worms, when I get done transplanting these plants right here, I have a nice tray of vegetables and pumpkin here, zucchini, bananas, all that I've had in the freezer. Once it goes in the freezer, it kind of breaks things down. It's almost like it's starting to rot. It makes it easier for the worms to eat it. I also had some new friends bring me some rabbit poop from under their rabbit pens. Thanks. Looks good enough to eat, don't it? It's what the worms think. I feed them that. They make this beautiful black gold right here that I can put straight on my plants. And when I transplant, I put this right here, black gold worm castings, under the plant as I plant it. When the plant goes down in the pot, there's the first thing I put is worm castings. And then I finish filling it up with this substrate that's mixed with compost and coconut coir, perlite. And in the end, drown it with some worm tea. Not really, but you know what I mean. Give us some good love. All right. Well, thanks to my new friends Haley and Andy, I have some extra rabbit poop and hay to go in my worm beds today. All right, so now I got to transplant some plants, feed some worms, go outside and see what I need to do in the garden today. So peace out.
With my hands, living simple, feeling fine. Yeah, we're growing.